The imperial palace of Drakthar gleamed beneath 3 crimson suns, its obsidian spires reaching toward the heavens like claws. Within its fortified nursery, chaos reigned supreme. Grace ducked as a crystalline vase shattered against the wall where her head had been moments before. The twin dragonlings, Prince Zarkoth and Princess Velshara, shrieked with laughter, their iridescent scales shimmering as they darted around the chamber on half-formed wings. "Nanny number 47 lasted 3 hours," observed Joseph, the human janitor, as he swept up the glittering shards. "That's actually an improvement." Grace straightened her cleaning uniform and sighed. "Poor woman. I saw her running down the corridor crying something about fire-breathing demons." "Technically accurate," Joseph noted, nodding toward a scorch mark on the ceiling. The twins were only 5 years old in human terms, but they possessed the cunning of creatures bred from an ancient and powerful lineage. Their mother, Queen Shalrix the Terrible, ruled over 17 star systems with an iron fist. She had conquered empires, destroyed fleets, and bent entire species to her will. But even she seemed helpless before her own children's antics. Grace had been working as a maintenance worker in the palace for 6 months. She'd watched nannies come and go, Xanthrians with their multiple arms, Quiluvians with telepathic abilities, even a hive-mind collective that had tried to corral the twins through coordinated effort. All had failed. "I don't understand it," Grace said, picking up a torn storybook. "They're just children. Just children who can breathe plasma and whose tantrums can melt reinforced titanium," Joseph reminded her. As if on cue, Princess Velshara swooped down, snatching Joseph's broom with her talons. "Give it back, little one," he said calmly, extending his hand. The dragonling tilted her head, golden eyes studying him with predatory intelligence. Then, surprisingly, she dropped the broom into his palm. Grace blinked. "Did she just listen to you?" Joseph shrugged. "Sometimes. I think they're just bored." That evening, as Grace was finishing her shift, she heard screaming from the nursery. She ran toward the sound, finding another new nanny, a towering Chromagian warrior, fleeing in terror while both twins pursued her, shooting small jets of flame. "Stop!" Grace shouted. To her amazement, they did. Prince Zarkoth landed first, folding his wings. "Why should we listen to you, cleaner human?" Grace crossed her arms. "Because I asked nicely, and because I bet you're not really trying to hurt anyone. You're just tired of boring people who treat you like problems to solve instead of people to know." The twins exchanged glances. Princess Velshara spoke, her voice surprisingly articulate. "The tall one tried to put us in separate rooms. She said twins shouldn't always be together." Grace felt a pang of sympathy. "That must have made you angry." "We are never apart," Prince Zarkoth declared fiercely. "We hatched together. We are together." "Then you should stay together," Grace agreed simply. The next morning, Queen Shalrix summoned Grace and Joseph to her throne room. The Dragon Queen was magnificent and terrifying, 30 feet of gleaming scales, with wings that could blot out suns and eyes that burned with ancient fire. "My advisors tell me you spoke to my children yesterday," the Queen rumbled, her voice like an earthquake. "Unauthorized contact with the royal heirs is punishable by molecular disintegration." Grace swallowed hard but stood firm. "With respect, Your Majesty. They spoke to me first." The Queen's pupils narrowed to slits. Then, to everyone's shock, she laughed, a sound like thunder rolling across mountains. "You have courage, little human. My children have driven away 47 trained caregivers in 6 months. Our species' finest minds cannot control 2 younglings. Yet you stood your ground." "They don't need controlling," Joseph interjected quietly. "They need understanding." The Queen leaned forward. "Explain." Grace took a breath. Every nanny you've hired has been qualified, educated, experienced. But they all see the twins as a problem, a challenge, something to manage or overcome. They don't see Zarkoth and Velshara, two children who are scared of being separated, who are bored out of their minds, and who just want someone to care about who they are, not what they are. Silence filled the throne room. Humans, the Queen finally said, are weak, fragile. Your lifespans are brief, your bodies breakable. What could you possibly offer my heirs? We understand what it means to be underestimated, Grace said softly. We know what it's like when everyone expects you to fail, and we know that sometimes the strongest thing you can do is be kind. The Queen studied them for a long moment. You will be their caretakers, both of you. If you fail, we won't, Joseph said simply. That afternoon, Grace and Joseph entered the nursery, not as janitors but as guardians. The twins watched them suspiciously. We're not here to boss you around, Grace began. We're here to be your friends. But friends have rules. No attacking people who don't deserve it. No destroying things just because you're angry. And definitely no separating you two. You stay together always. Prince Zarkoth's tail swished. And what do we get? Joseph smiled. Stories, adventures. We'll teach you about Earth, about a little planet where beings like us learn to reach for the stars even though we couldn't breathe fire or fly. We'll play games, explore the gardens, and maybe, if you're interested, we'll teach you that being powerful means knowing when to use that power and when to show mercy. For the first time in months, the twins looked genuinely intrigued. Tell us, Princess Velshara commanded, settling onto her cushion, about this Earth. Grace and Joseph sat down and they began to speak, of blue oceans and green forests, of humans who dreamed impossible dreams and built wonders despite their fragility. The twins listened, rapt. Outside the nursery, Queen Shalrix watched through the observation portal, her ancient heart stirring with something she hadn't felt in centuries. Hope. Perhaps these humans, with their strange compassion and stubborn courage, truly did possess a kind of strength her empire had never known.